Hello, everybody. This is Jerry Garrettson, Tabia Law. I'm going to go ahead and read this before I get started. In the evening and the morning were the fifth day. We're going to continue our series on the history of immigration. And I got this page from the National Archives. I'm just going to go ahead and read this full page. This is the very first immigration and naturalization laws. I'm not going to read the acts, but I'll just go ahead and kind of give you a summary here. And I think in the future weeks, we're going to go ahead and do a deep dive on some of these cases. It'll be fascinating to read. March 26, 1790. So this is the first, so 1790. So the Constitution, it was ratified 1790, I believe. So this is, okay, so yeah, I'm not sure about that, but it's right during when the Constitution was ratified. But anyways, okay, so one visit to court, 2-year residency, free white alien children of naturalized citizens considered to be citizens. So this is these were obviously the first laws. This is the open door policy. Free white aliens of good moral character, 5 years residency. This is January 29, 1795, so 5 years later. Within 1 year in state, declaration of intention filed after 2 years, petition filed 3 years after. So there's still paperwork, there's still stuff to do. June 18, 1798, the 14-year residency, declaration of intention filed 5 years before granting of citizenship. This is, remember, during the French Revolution, and they were worried about those revolutionaries coming over to this country and causing French revolutionaries and coming over to this country and causing issues. So I think that's where they got the 14-year. They bumped it up a whole bunch so they can make sure that they weren't letting in any radicals from a different country. And this is 1798, long time ago. July 14, 1798, ordered the removal of aliens considered to be dangerous to the peace and safety of the U.S. Passenger list to be given to collector of customs. April 14th, 1802, it's reasserted residency requires a 1795 Act, children of naturalized citizens considered to be citizens. March 2nd, 1819, passenger list to be given to the collector of customs. May 26, 1824, alien minors naturalized upon reaching 21 years of age if alien had lived in the U.S. for 5 years. February 10th, 1855, alien women married to U.S. citizens considered to be citizens. July 17th, 1862, aliens who received honorable discharges from the U.S. Army were not required to file declarations. Even way back then, we had non-citizens. I don't even think non-holders of green cards, legal permanent residents in the military. So basically, you had non-citizens in the military like we do today. And part of their service in the military, even back then, this is 1862, was a path to citizenship, or at least to get the green card. Permanent residency, legal permanent residency. Okay, so here's March 3rd, 1875, residency permits required of Asians. May 6, 1882, 10-year suspension of immigration of Chinese laborers. Certificates required of Chinese laborers who came to the U.S. prior to 1862. Chinese immigrants, other than laborers, must have certificates before immigrating to U.S. Chinese not allowed to become citizens. So need to study this out a little bit more, and we'll do a deep dive. This is where you have the anti-Asian, anti-Chinese. And no, not in 2020 or 2021. This is back in 1882, and a long time ago. So we'll go back and find out what's going on there. Obviously, the law follows current events, and as society changes and as our culture changes, or as world events occur, the law is not far behind. The laws is a reaction to the citizenry or major events that have occurred. After 9/11, got rid of the INS, Immigration Nationalization Services, and we got the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, right? As a result of 9/11, as a result of terrorists knocking down the Twin Towers. So anyways, let's go ahead and continue here. July 5th, 1884, extended 10-year suspension of 1882 Act. September 13, 1888, the indefinite suspension of immigration by Chinese laborers. March 3rd, 1891, established Office of Superintendent of Immigration, classes of persons denied right to immigrate to U.S. insane paupers, persons with contagious diseases, persons convicted of felonies or misdemeanors or moral turpitude, and polygamists. This is 1891. And we see these threads throughout our immigration law, even up to today. The paupers, that would be part of the public charge, which is not enforced hardly at all anymore. But the idea is that we want people to come to this country to contribute to our republic, to further this country along, and thus come here with talents that you can contribute. Not come here and be a drag on society, not come here and as a pauper and dirt poor, and instead of contributing, you actually are a drag on the system by getting free medical or getting on welfare or whatever. So that's the idea. Now, I'm not making a judgment on that. I'm just telling you what the law says and what our country's policy is towards that. And now and in 1862. I'm sorry, let me read this. 1891. The policy was we want people coming to this country that contribute, not to detract. And if you get enough people coming to detract and to come and basically live off the dole, become a public charge, become dependent on government, and government through welfare or whatever else supports these folks, our country incurs more debt and more struggles and so on and so forth. So that's the policy we had there. And to a large bit today, although again, you don't see many public charge is not such a big deal these days. So you don't see a lot of immigration. You don't see people being turned away primarily because of the public charge, although it's still on the books and it's still should be or not should be, but is technically a part of the application and a part of the totality of the circumstances that the government looks at in issuing a green card or citizenship. March 5th, 1892, all Chinese immigrants excluded from U.S. for 10 years. Chinese illegally in U.S. could be removed. So we're going to go study that out. Something's going on in 1890s, where we had a real anti-Chinese, specifically mood in this country, policy, and we'll see why, and we'll dive deeper in that. Okay, thank you so much. You guys have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.